Now, the bulk of our easier fixtures is over, and aren't you happy that you have won? But first, before we go to the four absurd things that you didn't notice in this game, I'd like you to subscribe and hit the notification button. Anyway, for my first thing, I knew this game were going to win, but just before 1 hour before the game, the lineup comes out, and I'm looking at the lineup. I'm thinking like, okay, Maresca is just like trolling us. Like whatever we are saying, whatever we are predicting, given how we have performed, it just does the opposite. And one thing he did was put Rhys James on bench, and knowing well that Caicedo will be, if he had another yellow card, he will be missing the next game versus Arsenal, and that is very, and it's very clear that we don't want Caicedo to miss another game versus Arsenal. But things went well. He didn't get the yellow card, and again, we won. Now, in the lineup, I've just come to realize that as much as we always start with the lineup as being 4-2-3-1 or something, the gist of it is that Maresca approaches this game knowing well that we'll be having three defenders at the back. Like his lineup in the head is always three at the back. And that's why we always don't need a right back. Now, you have seen in the last two games, it doesn't start with the right back in the right back position because we don't need a right back, because it's three at the back. Left center back, center back, and right center back. And now that Fofana is around, I don't expect to have another right back. Now, Malogusto will just be playing that position where Cucurella is playing in the right now. Like they will be interchanging in the next few games now that we are going to the Conference League and we are also having a heavier fixture of matches. But anyway, the second thing is Palma, and I've talked about Palma for so long, to an extent. I think we already know, like his his penalty miss, and how he has been playing. Like it just screams a lack of confidence. And I'm a good guy. I want to cut the crap out of it. I know he's a good player, but he's young, and this is expected. It's just that we were really depending on him so heavily, to an extent that his loss of form will affect us badly. And that's why we have been emotional about him not performing before, because whenever he doesn't perform, the team doesn't perform well. You see, it's just that. But now we have realized that we have beefed up our defense, and now it's like we don't need a lot of goals, probably for these easier fixtures. Because if you look at the games that we have lost from just a winning position like 1-0, the games that we have drawn, like we have lost at around 12 points just from that, scoring the first goal and then backing up. Like if we had the defense that we have, or we had today, would be 12 points above where we are now. Like we'll be having 58 points. Like we'll still be contending for the title. I think so. But that just happened. We lost it, but I think we are learning. Now, here is where I get more serious on the game. The first thing is, I know people did not notice, but we had Tosin step up in controlling the game, in giving instructions to people, in trying to tell, is the at least the most senior member of the squad, and you would have expected us even in the earlier fixtures, but he was not doing that. And I understand him. Like even if you're a stepdad, you just can't go into a house and start ordering the stepson, like you do this, do this, do this. No, you have to go there, learn the culture, learn how these people operate, and start uh, dominating or getting your power, like slowly by slowly. That's what I think happened with Tosin. Like, he was there, he was the senior most squad, but he was the recent purchase, so he couldn't just go in and start telling you, I'm the senior member here, and now you'll be following instructions. Like, we can't follow your instructions even, and you're not even part of the squad. Like, you have to work to be part of the squad. Play well, don't make mistakes before you start ordering us around. And that's what happened with him. And right now, you could see how he was planning the game, telling Colwell do this, telling Caicedo do this, telling the keeper do this, and it was just awesome to see. It was awesome to see because we had a clean sheet, but I think it it, it made the clean sheet possible. Like, if they were not talking, if it was not somebody just coming in, the only person who came in the first day and he was ordering people around, he was who uh, the Brazilian guy. Why is his name not coming in my head? I'm forgetting his name. But he came here and he didn't even know English, but he was telling people to do whatever he wants them to do. Like, they will translate among themselves, but he used to order people around, and that's why. Oh, Thiago Silva was the one ordering people around, and he was telling them, you learn either French or you learn Portuguese or you learn whatever Spanish, but you have to understand whatever I'm saying. But it's coming back. That thing of ownership, defense ownership, midfield ownership, striking ownership, and that's what will make our team. That's what they always said. Like, leadership usually builds how the team, the connection, how the team plays. And this was one case. And then the other thing was Pedro. Like, it's essentially the work rate of certain players, but most certainly Pedro. Like, Pedro, Pedro and Enzo, they were running. Like, this Pedro even reminded me of the other Pedro. It was in the 80th minute, and this guy was chasing the ball like forward, backwards, every time, going to the side, going to the other side. And I was looking at him, and he had this thing covering his head, like covering the blood, but he was still running. And I was thinking, this guy might just faint, but he never stopped. And these are the things that you see in the game, and you start appreciating each and every player. And that even if they're not playing to the best of their ability, whatever they're doing, it's just commendable. It's the work rate is high. You see Pedro work rate, you see Enzo's work rate, and probably that will translate to the other people. I didn't see from the other guys, but you expect that if these guys keep getting the numbers and they have to put in the competition every weekend, then the other guys will be forced to start running, because if everybody comes out of injury, now most people will be at the bench. Most people, like, the number of people that will want the same number will be the same first 11 will be so high, and competition and that. And if Pedro and Enzo have already set the tempo to get the number, now everybody will try to reach that point to be selected. You see, that's it. But anyway, those are four. Yeah, those are the four key things that I noticed, or absurd things that I noticed. Anyway, the next game we are going to face Arsenal. It will not be easier. We are going into a series of other, not in Premier League. Of course, we have to face Copenhagen, but we have to defeat Copenhagen first. Then we'll face Arsenal. But Copenhagen is given. We don't have to worry about that so much. We have to worry about Arsenal, because we need to be the top four. We need to go to Champions League next year. Like, this not next year, this year. We need to win those games. We need to beat Arsenal. Arsenal is so. There's just a thing. Like, it can't beat us like PSV. It doesn't have his first 11. Like, Saka is not there. Who? Like, a bunch of people. I don't know all of them, but a bunch of people are not there. Even Havertz is not there. Jesus is not there. Who? like this is the right time to beat this thing, because with Maresca, but I'll just talk about it in another video. But again, I've said it all the time. With Maresca, whenever he meets all these bigger teams, he has this feeling of we are not yet there. And if you already have defeated yourself in your mind, this you can't you can't recreate something that you have not created in your mind. If you have not created a win in your mind, there's no any way you are going to recreate it in real life. So that's about it. But anyway, good day. It's a good night because we have won it. Now we can sleep so well. We are top four. We are in the top four. We are in top four. Subscribe.